Hi everybody, welcome to 442. I've got Mark Johane. Mark, how you doing?
Very good. How are you, Kev?
Good. I was just reading through the dictionary as I do, every day. A mess is defined as something that's untidy or dirty. Definitely seems to be the case with what's going on in Barcelona and Lionel Messi.
Yeah, and I would say more dirty than even untidy at the moment. And so much going on. It's, I love Messi as a player. I think he's one of my favorite players. But
he'll be comforted knowing that.
Yeah, he will be. I read a piece this morning that said, "Don't be fooled by the little chap's angelic face. There could be a narcissistic giant behind that." So, he's been there since the age of 12.
There's 20 years, two decades.
He had always said and his dad had always said there's only one club for him, just like there was only ever going to be one country for him, playing for Argentina, and that he wouldn't play for Spain, which a lot of people thought he should have gone there and it would have been better for his international career. But there's this talk, is this the boy who cried wolf or not? Or is he really at the end of his tether because of the president who's up for re-election, and there's never been any love lost between him and the board in the last 2-3 years? I think he's felt that ever since Pep left, they haven't really got the manager a club like that should get, that they've started to settle for domestic glory and not European glory. Yeah. He's won 10 La Liga championships, he's won 3 Champions leagues, but the last 3-4 years Barcelona, as you pointed out at like the start of the season, certainly weren't the team that they were.
No, I think they'd won a game 4-1, and I sent you a text message saying this team's done. Yeah,
it was just after the resumption, and you said they can't be carried by this guy anymore, and also he can't keep on carrying that club. So I think just.
What do you think the tipping point is, Mark? I mean, the thing that I don't like about it seems that the tipping point to me was maybe Suarez leaving.
Yes. Now, again, Suarez, and everyone thought, how will Suarez and Messi go in terms of Suarez was the top dog at Liverpool wherever he's been. Could he actually play in Messi's shadow? And they formed a wonderful relationship on the field and off the field. And he's the one who's provided the most assists to Messi in the history of Messi's career at Barcelona. And Suarez wasn't known for a bloke who provides assists. He wanted to score all the goals.
Well, he was a biter.
Yeah. And then there's talk that Griezmann came in on the recommendation from Messi and that they actually never got on and they haven't really gelled. And there seems to be some element of truth that if you see how Griezmann has not really flourished in that environment.
He's been a total disaster.
No, he has, yeah. So you also, it's like...
You sound like a millennial when you say that,
Yeah. Thanks for that compliment, the grey millennial. But Suarez, then Koeman coming in, which was a surprise. He seemed to come from left field. No one had spoken about Koeman coming in. Then having crisis meetings with Messi. Him not really speaking about what happened in the crisis meetings, but the news being filtered out that he said to Messi, your privileges are over at this club. It's basically, I'm the top dog now. You're 33 years old. You've got 2-3 years to go. I want to be here for the next decade kind of thing. And I've axed Suarez. And I think that, as you said, is where he may have said, well, I'm not going to be a part of a rebuild. We either bring players in who can play and we can win champions. His career doesn't allow for him to be part of a new Barcelona start where they've given 2 or 3 years. And as far as I'm concerned, clubs like that should never have that restart. If your planning succession is right, when 5 go, another 5 come in and you continue to sustain success.
But just like in life, Mark, everything ebbs and flows. The academy does well, they produce certain talent. And there are cycles in life, and just as there are in sports, they've been a fantastic team for many years. But it's their down cycle now.
No, it's very much like Man United's down cycle was. If you go back to the Giggs, Beckham, Scholes era, they all came out the academy. Messi and so many of the others came out of the academy. So I see a lot of similarities with this current Barcelona side and that Man United side after Ferguson left.
So what you're saying is it's Leeds' time to shine.
It's Leeds' time to shine. If they get into Europe now, they can take these guys. So the big, we've spoken about it. The obvious one, if he does move. And I'm not still convinced he will move because he is so ingrained in that club. But if he's going to move, the only club I see him moving to is Man City. And for him to play with Pep, sign a 2-year contract that will take him to the 35. He gets to play in the Premier League, where I think he will be a superstar in the Premier League as he has been anywhere in the world. And let's not forget that no one has ever scored more goals in Europe against English sides than he has. And Pep will build everything around him. And I just imagine Kevin De Bruyne and Messi in the same team. I mean, it's just...
Well, the pedigree is there for Man City and Pep, where he's shown that smaller players can succeed, like the David Silvas, the Agueros, so it's not, I mean, I think that was always the biggest knock on South American players coming into the Premier League. Would they be able to stand the physicality of that league? So, and Guardiola knows him so well that, the rumors are the top 3 teams for him to go to are Man City, Inter Milan, PSG,
yeah.
or the MLS. I don't know where that one comes from.
Yeah, and I mean, just if I look at Messi's pedigree as a player, he'd go to PSG, he'd score 40 goals, he wouldn't be fulfilled. There would be no challenge. I think unless he stays at Barcelona, because that's all he knows, it's the love of his life in terms of a soccer club, the only challenge that would really excite him was to reunite with Pep, go to Man City. And the big talking point is who's legally right. He says he's got a free agent clause. He can walk out at the end of the season. He's now actioned that. They say you had till June and you didn't action it. He's saying the season didn't end in June because of COVID. The season has only just ended in August. And we're talking a mere £635 million that's on the table here, whether there is that clause for him to escape. But if not now, that clause will be effective in the very next season and he would be out. So they're going to fight.
But he'll be 34.
Yeah, they're going to fight as hard as they can for that money. But if there is one owner who would be willing to pay for it, it would certainly be the Man City owner, because I do believe someone like a Messi could catapult City and be that final piece of a puzzle that takes them to champions of Europe.
Yeah, look, I've always been a Messi fan first, and never, but I'll tell you, with Ronaldo and what he's accomplished, going to Juventus and reinventing himself there, that really impressed me. So the only thing left off his resume for me is winning a title and succeeding in another league, unlike Ronaldo has. It doesn't take away from his accomplishments. No, it doesn't do that. But it would be nice to see. And I think that there's only one place that he can go, and that's Man City. I don't think he can stay at Barcelona. I think when you bring in a new manager, when you hire a head coach, you don't tell him who his quarterback's going to be. And you can't bring in a Koeman and look at the next 10 years and try and compete in the current 2 years with someone that's so dissatisfied and someone so central to the team.
Yeah, and I'm also very surprised at the choice of Koeman. I mean, he's a wonderful player in his day.
Well, he had success at Southampton.
Club so close to his heart, but it's
one.
It
was Koeman that was at Southampton, wasn't it?
Yeah, and at Everton, it's one thing to manage a mid-table club and be very successful, and we saw that with David Moyes.
To Southampton.
And we saw that with David Moyes, who could take a team from 16th to 6th. But when he was given Man United, given all those egos, given all those players, he just couldn't cope with it. And I think it takes a very different type of manager to be successful with the top 3 clubs in the world. And I don't think Koeman is that guy. He will obviously finish top 2 in Spain, in La Liga. I think if you and I either had Real Madrid or Barcelona and we were managing them, we'd get a top 2. It's whether you finish 1 and not 2. But I think it would be magnificent for the game if Messi does go to Man City and goes into the English Premier League. It's the best league in the world, without a doubt. And just having a player of his stature there and playing out his career there, because he's got 2 years and potentially a third into the age of 36. And then what is there left for him to do, outside of somehow come out of retirement, international retirement, and play in another World Cup and try and win something with Argentina. But he's also played in a decade where they've never been in the top 3 of South America, let alone the top 3 of world football.
Yeah.
Again, the minute that said Messi could leave Barcelona, people are Ronaldo, Messi, and I think it's so unfair to either of the two.
Yeah.
They are 2 of the most talented footballers who have ever played the game. Very different in the way they play as well. Yeah. It's not a straight-on comparison. He plays like that and he plays like that. Who's the best? I think that the debate always of who's the best does both of them a disservice. And we should look back and say, we've lived in a time where we got to see 2 of the most magnificent footballers kind of ply their trade, and to see what Ronaldo does. And the irony there is Ronaldo does something on a Tuesday and you think, wow, that is just sensational, and it seems to spur Messi on to do something on the Wednesday and vice versa. So Just as I thought Ronaldo reinvigorated some interest in Serie A, I really think, and Juventus, I really think Messi could have that same impact at the Etihad. But key there that he goes back to a guy who just so believes in him, so trusts him. And there, Messi was at the peak of his powers, and so was Pep when they were together at Barcelona.
Yeah, it would probably make for a good marriage again.
A Hollywood ending.
A Hollywood ending. Thanks for coming in, Mark.
Pleasure.
Cheers, bye.